Hello, Hamura. Ugh. Whew. Ugh. Crazy in there. Crazy in there, I tell you. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bug Think Tank. So I'm showing off some of the old swag here. The Slytherin Green from the robe I got Orlando, as well as the Yusuf Kama wand. I figured I would pick the wand of the most boring character in all of Harry Potter. And that's Yusuf Kama. But anyway, let's get back into this with some Flashpoint issue number 3 by Jeff Johns. So this story starts off with, well, a flashback to Kal-El arriving on Earth, and with a bit of a difference, because that's what the Flashpoint universe is, some subtle dark differences. So for those who don't know, Superman in the Flashpoint universe, his ship crash landed on Earth, as you do, as per the story of Superman. But instead of just, crashing into the middle of nowhere that is Smallville, it crash lands in Metropolis. About 30,000 people were injured or dead. It was a thing. That's how he ended up being taken in by the government. And looking all, let's show that again, relatively emaciated. He's called Subject 1. But here, he's Superman, he's Super Dash Man. It's pretty much spelled like Spider-Man. Oh, look at that. Anyway, picking up where we left off, sort of, we see Oswald bonding with Dexter. It's kind of weird, kind of fun at the same time. Teaching him how to, pick a lock. And apparently he's getting the hang of it. But it's all interrupted by Reverse Flash showing up going, he's coming for me! He's coming for me again! So my guess is he's running from Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan trying to kill him again. Is Manhattan going to kill him in every possible timeline? Oh, that's gold. That's gold. Or is it the fact that his death is reverberating throughout all of time and space? Oh, he's super dead then. Anyway, back at the alley, as you do, the thug that Thomas was beating the snot out of runs off because some creepy dude showed up. Landed, I might add. He runs off, and Superman's like, I need help. And Tom's like, no, I'm not doing this. Thomas lashes out, punches him, breaks his hand, and Superman's like, still, I need your help. You just come with me. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And Superman, this Superman has no patience, backhands him, and takes him off somewhere. Meanwhile, at the old Arkham Asylum, Gilda has been, restrained because she's crazy. And someone's talking about, hey, you want to get your son? We'll get you your son. Yeah, we'll help you see Dexter again. And of course, also, who's this other voice? Is it some mysterious figure? Is it more likely your other personality? Because this is it. Jeff Johns again did this in Batman Earth 1, and he's doing it again here in the pages of Flashpoint. Beyond. And so anyway, Thomas wakes up. He's on a bed of plants, greeted by Poison Ivy. He's like, look, what are you doing here, Ivy? He's like, look, shut up. All right, I'm here, you're here, because I need your help, and this whole place is a sanctuary. And what's really cool about this place is that it's clearly supposed to be the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, it's got the same sort of jagged edges, if you look at it, sort of protruding spirals. I think that's the word I want to use. But it's all nature-based. That's really cool. Almost as if the fortress would always sort of grow in a way that suited the environment it was in. For the most part, it's always like in the North Pole, so it takes a very, clear, crystalline, ice-like appearance. But since it apparently ended up in the jungle, look at that. So this is apparently a sanctuary for people who've had to deal with, people that don't fit in, but also because of what's going on now, refugees from like Europe, and they apparently need some help. Luckily, the person who's also here is the Swamp Thing. I'm like, oh, cool. Alec? Is that Alec? Swamp Thing, Barryman. He's like, I'm gonna need some more help here to get some more stuff. But anyway, that's not why they brought him here. Apparently there's another message. These sort of green crystal things, which is more likely the same thing that Superman, from our continuity, used to grow the Fortress of Solitude. That's used here, and it's Jor-El talking about, hey, and this is something else, because Jor-El this whole time, and of course about, hey, they will fear you as a god, and that's alright, embrace that. And it turns out, where our Superman was sent to Earth to be an example, to guide humanity. Like, nah, dude, we're gonna conquer this planet. All right, you get it ready for us. I'm like, wasn't this the premise of Dragon Ball Z? Why Goku was sent to Earth? I'm like, it is, isn't it? Shame. It's finally come full circle. Anyway, they're like, okay, so how long before they get here? 5 days. What was doing 5 days? Mourn, I guess. And they're like, we need your help, Batman. I'm like, I am not the right Batman for this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. You want my son? My son, totally ready for this. But anyway, I don't want to help you. I got other stuff to do. I don't even care about humanity. I don't know why you care about humanity. They kidnapped you, experimented on you, locked you down in the bottoms of their basement. And the only reason, like, why? Why do you care? He's like, well, they're not all bad. Lois Lane saved you, and then she died. That was it. And I'm Thomas Wayne. I am not a nice person. I only like one person anymore, and it's Bruce. And I don't know where he is here. I'm not even sure if the things I've done here saved him there. And I really messed up Bruce's life in Tom King's Batman. So he's like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm out. I'm rich. I'll get home my own way. Meanwhile, the GCPD is investigating the death of Reverse Flash, or they just know some dude in a yellow gimp suit with the words "Tick" written in what appears to be his blood. I'm like, oh, all right, bold. So, then, apparently, his Thawne's death has reverberated throughout Hypertime. It's a paradox that's been reset. And they're like, okay, so what are we supposed to do here? We're trying to track this down. The time bubble, cube, sphere, ain't gonna last. We need Rip Hunter. We need someone who actually knows about time travel. We're decent time travel people. We need time travel experts. Alright? Where's the Celestial Intervention Agency from Doctor Who? Alright? I don't know. Well, Arthur Davil was a Doctor Who and he's a Time Master. Come on. He might know somebody. So, anyway, it's all going to hell. Time travel wise. Ultimately, this was fun. This was alright. Subject 1, Super Dash Man, he's alright. He's cool. Well, not cool, which is weird. It's kind of unsettling. He's the polar opposite of our Superman. It's interesting because I remember reading about him in Convergence, because he was the one that tried to duke it out with pre-Flashpoint Superman, where John Kent was born for the first time. He would later be born in the Fortress of Solitude for the second time, when the two Supermen from different continuities merged together. It was actually kind of weird. But, yeah, he's alright. He realized Lois, because Lois was like his first friend. Seeing Poison Ivy, that was cool. I don't know why we're spending all this time on Gil to hope this pays off. Thomas is kind of working my nerves, but like, look, I don't care if the plan's going to be better. I only got 5 days to fix this. Plan's going to end in 5 days. I am on a timeline here, alright? I gots to go. Overall, still alright. I'm trying to figure out why I care about the Time Masters, but whatever. I'm sure I will at some point. Next up is The Dark Crisis, Issue 2 by Joshua Williamson. So, if you recall the last time we left off of this, Deathstroke and his super-duper Argent Legion of Doom came to kill the Teen Titans. And I was like, well, you know what? They kind of deserve it, alright? They kind of deserve it. So, hang up. There we go. So, anyway. Dr. Pariah talks about, hey, in order to get what I want, Earth Zero has to go. And the whole destroying of the Justice League will sort of help that out a bit, mostly delay the inevitable, but we need more. I'm like, so whose side are you on, Dr. Pariah? I think he's on his side. I think to presume he's on our side is a grave mistake. Anyway. We then cut to Titan's Tower on Sweet Earth Zero. Nightwing's feeling it. These knockoffs from an earlier Titans run with Damian Wayne on the team that I didn't care to read. They're pulling Dick Grayson's failed body out of the rubble. And, I care, but no. Deathstroke is here with his posse. They've got Artemis, they got Star. Oh, jeez, they kidnapped everybody. And Deathstroke's like, look, it's all going to hell. And, you should let the heroes die. And I'm here to deal with this. I'm here to deal with you. And he's like, you know what, I could kill all of them. No. I'm here to kill you. The golden boy. The trophy child. You know, the the perfect one. Because that's sort of how Dick Grayson's sort of viewed by the in and out universe. Alright, because he was not only the first Robin, essentially the first sidekick in comic books. He later took on the mantle of Batman. He's routed points. He helped found the Teen Titans. When the Justice League went missing I think it was still Grant Morrison's run. Might have still been. For Justice League. Bruce chose him like, hey, you're part of my reserve team. If something happens to us, you lead this team and take care of the world till I get back. That was it. He's the one. Also, he keeps sleeping with numerous beautiful women. And that might upset Slade. Who knows? Anyway, they have one last round. One more good old round. And that's a pretty interesting fight. Love this page here, though. Love it. Love it. Also, if you consider the Teen Titans cartoon with Robin and Slade's back and forth, yeah, this all sort of makes sense, too. Like, it would all ultimately come down to them, but whatever. Dick Grayson fights a good fight, knocks him out, and like, oh, gee, what's going to happen? Well, I'm just going to shoot him. That's it. Like, so what's going to happen is, who do I kill next, Dick Grayson? Who fights me next? And Dick's like, fine, look, if killing me saves them, do it. But, as they make the shot, Superman, son of Kal-El, John Kent comes in. He's like, I'm here to help. And Deathstroke's like, oh, gee, wish I thought of an out to Superman. Oh, wait, I did. Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman. Fuck him up, guys. And that happens, and he's about to kill Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson, the boy who lived, come to die. But no, voice in his head, Dr. Ross says, no, you can't kill him yet. It's not time. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is stupid. I hope this pays off, because this really should be the systematic cleansing of every figure in the DC universe that could help out. That could be a beacon of hope. This should be it. But no, they leave Dick Grayson, and with help from Cyborg, and Cyborg Superman is knocked out, presumably killed. I think that was it. He's like, you give Cyborgs a bad name. Well, to be fair, Cyborg, independent of Cyborg Superman, you can't keep a comic. So maybe you're giving Cyborgs a bad name. You know, whatever. Anyway, amidst the rubble, Black Adam shows up like, well. It's almost like I was right that you were all incapable of doing this. And like, well, where were you? Like, I had to help out somewhere else, alright? In case you forgot, the planet's on fire. Alright, not a global warming thing this time. But, hell out here. But, it was unfair of me to just tell you were all incompetent and not offer to help. So here I am, offering to help. Alright? Meanwhile, in space, Hal Jordan and Joe Mullane save Kyle Rayner. What happened to Kyle at this time? I have no idea. The book does not tell us. Anyway, I like this take here because, in other words, Joe Mullane has been called the greatest detective in the multiverse. I'm like, she's nowhere near that. But the best detective in the Green Lantern Corps, whether or not you've read Jeffrey Thorne's Green Lantern, I'm in the process of working through it. I think that one makes more sense because I've never known the Green Lantern Corps to have a detective to begin with. But, yeah, technically Alpha Lantern Corps, but they debate whether or not you should be killed on sight or taken to the Guardians to then be killed later. So, whatevs. Also, it's dark as hell to be an Alpha Lantern. If they ever offer you to be an Alpha Lantern, don't take it, get out, go rogue, give them the ring, it's not worth it, I promise you. Anyway, Hal gives Kyle the rundown, so all of our friends are dead. Well, not really all of them, but all the ones that matter, that actually have consistent titles. And Hawkgirl, and Green Arrow, and Black Canary, and Martian Manhunter. Look, everyone else can keep a title, they're gone. The Flashes, Wally, Wallace, Jesse Quick, who, I don't know if anyone remembers her. I think she showed up in recent issues of The Flash. I haven't read it yet. They're going to look for Barry, because Barry wasn't there. And, also, but we need help, because, they took all the bad guys, including Necrom, and Doomsday, and Dark, we're in trouble, we need help. And Kyle's like, well, we need an army. Well, I got the Green Lantern Corps. What's left? Guys here. Ooh. Jessica Cruz, yeah. Arisia. Kilowog! A professional, the professionals are here. And Joe Mullane. So, they're in a good spot. Ultimately, Dark Crisis issue 2 was sort of alright. I still think Nightwing should have been killed. Like, imagine if we killed Nightwing in issue 2. Like, issue 1, or sort of like the prelude to this, the Triumvirate was gone. The Justice League and some of its best rotating members were killed. Where does Super Community go? By default, they would go to Nightwing. They would go to those second-tier characters, those legacy-era characters. They'd go to Nightwing. They'd go to Roy. They wouldn't go to Roy. They'd go to Donna. They, by default, would go to the Teen Titans. And then, boom, kill off the Teen Titans. There you go. There you go. What happens then? It's led to the third string, which would, oddly enough, would be Connor, would be Bart, would be Tim, it would be Cassie, but no one cares about them, which is a shame. So they made John, that non-binary Flash, Yara Florey, who's Brazilian, and Joe Mulaney and the black guy, who's Batman now that no one asks for. They didn't go that route, but still 5 more issues of this, so who knows where they'll go. I like the stakes. I like the idea that Deathstroke seems to be aware of what's going on. Whether or not he's a willing participant or not, we don't know. But overall, really fun, really interesting stuff. Could be better, but again, early days. And now for something new. All right, Batman issue 125 by Chip Zdarsky. The new era begins. All right, a new era of Batman. We've left Tinian's very lackluster Batman run, more events than characters, and we're here with hopefully something a bit more nuanced, a bit more panache, a bit more promenade, so to speak. We're going to swish and flick. We're going to Leviosa this. Yeah, I'm just too lazy to take this thing off. I'm sorry. So anyway, going in. This opens up with a flashback / nightmare that Bruce had involving the 3 Jokers. No, not the story by Jeff Johns, but already it looks a lot easier to stomach than Jeff Johns' 3 Jokers story, which, while good, in some places was mostly just unnecessary. I don't know. Anyway. Bruce wakes up and lets us know how badass he is by telling us that, I don't dream unless I want to dream. That must be nice. He calls Selina. He wants to talk to his wife, girlfriend, life partner, someone he committed to, although he totally made out with Talia in the pages of that whole Shadow War thing. Anyway, as he's talking to Selina about what's going on, this guy that Selina's been sleeping with is overheard on the phone. He's like, oh, alright, my ex was about to die, and then we embraced because we had a son, and I was worried about her, but she's just hoeing around. And here's the weirdest thing about this. Alright? Why isn't Selina hanging around with Bruce? Like, by default, it's not like they're on a separation of whatever their relationship is. The only thing stopping her from hanging out with Bruce is her desire to go out there. That's kind of it. That's it. Alright? I feel like Bruce is one step away from Bruno Mars smoking out the window. But anyway, moving on. Bruce has bigger fish to fry right now than his horrible love life, which in the pages of Tom King's Batman led him to torturing Mr. Freeze. He decides to continue investigation of this person going around murdering rich people. And since Bruce used to be one of those rich people, or was like not as rich as he was before, it's like he was up here, now he's like here, I think. It's debatable. I don't know. He's going to investigate. It's a really cool scene here where the guy who's, holding people hostage goes, God, and Batman goes, not God. Not even close. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That is cool. But anyway, dude runs off, freaking out, jumps out the window, and Batman's like, okay, hope he didn't kill anybody. Oh crap, he killed someone. These are apparently, that guy there is apparently one of Bruce's oldest friends. Didn't know about Bruce, but whatever. He goes like, you're just a hired muscle. Who hired you? And it turns out it was the Penguin. And a slightly better design than he normally gets, but whatever. He's here to kill the rich people, the elites, the privileged few. I want to point out that because I'm wearing the Slytherin cloak, does not mean that I'm of the privileged few. I'm just an asshole sometimes. Apparently. I don't see it. But this is apparently Oswald's new plan here. So, cool, whatever. While Tim is also the Robin of this book here, always nice to see Tim Drake here. He's gotten attention in recent years, but really it's only because he's come on as bisexual. Regardless of how you feel about it, I do not subscribe to the idea that he's always been bisexual. I also not subscribe to the idea that there was no evidence there. But to say if you don't like it, if you don't believe it, you haven't reading comics, because those are all up to interpretation and how we choose to view Tim's relationships with everyone else. So yeah, don't be a dick. Dick's busy being beaten up by Deathstroke. But this is the first time Tim's actually gotten to just be himself, be Robin, be on the team, And Tim points out, as he should, that ever since Bruce lost his fortune in a story that didn't really seem to matter, it was also kind of unnecessary, that you haven't quite been Bruce. You've been mostly Batman. And Bruce points out, well, since I'm no longer rich, people don't invite me to parties anymore. And you'd think there'd be fewer parties for rich people when someone's going around killing rich people, but Gotham City never learns its lesson. Never learns its lesson. And it's still holding a party. Luckily, Bruce has been invited to this party. Because why not? So, this whole thing works off pretty well. It's important to note that Tim Drake has been Batman's partner longer than anyone else, longer than Dick Grayson, definitely longer than Jason, longer than Stephanie, longer than Damian. So those two have a great rapport. They just know what each other needs. They have great chemistry, which DC has sort of underplayed recently. So while Bruce works up as a socialite, Tim makes sure that Bruce has his bat suit, or at least his cowl and belt, and goes to, investigate what Bruce thinks is, okay, so he's going to use gas, it's going to probably be in the basement, and Tim's like, yeah, got there, neutralize it. Bruce never has to worry that Tim's got this under control. So that actually makes out of every partner Bruce has had, 2, Tim and Dick, 3 if we count Ghostmaker, but we're not going to count Ghostmaker, I think he's done. Anyway, Oswald's about to do his thing, and Bruce, reveals, puts the cape, puts the belt on with the cowl. This is a good look for him. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very Matador. I like it. Very, very. This is your cheesy romance novel, Batman. Available at trashy bookstores near you. So he goes through. He throws the batarang at Oswald. Oswald's like, okay, all right. You think you stopped this? You think you stopped this? Nope. I'm Clayface, bitch. And the whole plan was not really the gas, but to bring the building down on top of them. So he's like, Robin, get these doors open. Aloha more of them. And Tim's busy doing what Tim does. And Batman's like, okay, look, Clayface, I've been waiting for you. Because last time we met, I'm guessing it was the events of Dark Knight's Metal. I'm not sure the last time they met. Because the last time they met, to my recollection, was Clayface was still a good guy. But whatever. Well, he was trying to be a good guy. He was working out, and he was essentially killed by Batwoman. Led to a whole issue thing. I kind of like that following issue, but Clayface was a really great character in Tinian's Detective Comics, if you haven't read that. Anyway, Bruce is like, look, so last time we met, I altered your compound and put some nanites in there that I will make you explode if you don't act right. Let's go. What you gonna do? I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, while this is all going down, one henchman decides to make a name for himself and shoots Robin through the neck. I'm like, no! Tim just now became important again, and we've killed him! Damn you all to hell! But, of course, as this goes out, Batman makes the final thing, look, you get these people out here safely, or I'll make you go boom, and Batman's freaking out because the last time something like this happened, it was with Jason. All right, he's sort of freaking out. He says, "I've got you, son. You got to make it." He actually calls him son. I love that little bit. He wraps him in his cape. He runs towards the Batmobile, and Tim's like, "You can't just drop me off at the hospital. It's too severe for Leslie." So he has to. But if he drops him off, if he's dropped off as Robin, they'll know Tim Drake's Robin, and they'll probably make another connection to Bruce Wayne being Batman, which they haven't quite been able to prove. So while he's like undressing him, getting him ready to be dropped off at the emergency room, he's reflecting back to what he had to do this for Jason. Because he was Batman, he had to undress Jason, put him in regular clothes, so no one would make that connection. And I think he kind of hates himself that he had to do that, as opposed to just getting him help. So anyway, Batman's like, alright, this is Penguin, so he goes to talk to Penguin. Turns out Penguin's dying. I'm like, oh no! Oswald, you're one of my favorite Batman villains. Why do you keep getting the shaft? But this is actually going to be really cool. So, as Batman points out, You were born into a rich family. Where do you get off killing people because they were born rich? Yeah, ass. Like, no. What he's talking about is the fact that Penguin was never accepted in high society. Even when he tried. Even when he tried to be an upstanding model person, he was never accepted. And what was that story? What, Birds of a Feather? Was it Birds of a Feather? From the animated series, when he tried to, like, be a stand-up guy in society, they just made fun of him. They mocked him for it, played with his emotions. He's like, nah, I'm doing this. I'm taking them all down. And he's like, I got a plan for you, too. He takes a cyanide capsule, presses the emergency button presses the emergency button to bring the aid here. So Batman's like, no crap, get the cyanide pill out of you. The nurse walks in on a critical Penguin. It looks like Batman killed him. As Batman heads out, he realizes Penguin got him. All right, people believe that Penguin's killed. Batman's killed Penguin. The police are there. The nursing staff is there. The doctor was there. Yeah, it's crazy. So people are wondering, like, how's it going to affect Batman? Well, Penguin's kind of the scum of the earth. And, he's just a filthy... It's like if someone killed the Kingpin. It's like, yeah, oh no, you killed the Kingpin. Whatever shall we do? And Batman's like, Oswald grossly overestimated his importance. If anything, it makes me look... I'm more terrifying to criminals now because I've killed people. I haven't, but they don't need to know that. They need to think I'm unhinged. That I'm a grown man, dressed as a bat, beating people up. They didn't think I'd kill. Now they think I will. I'm back to basics. Good. And Barbara points out that he hasn't been to visit Tim since he was admitted to the hospital, and yeah, that's how the sort of comic comes to an end, with something activating in the Batcave. Something called Failsafe. And that's how this story ends. But hold on, Zdarsky wrote another story for you good boys and girls out there. A story involving Catwoman. 'Cause, I guess. So this is after the events of Cobblepot's death. And the Iceberg Lounge is up for grabs. Alright, people trying to get to it, trying to lay claim to it. But luckily, the Underbroker is here. And the Underbroker handles the sort of savory financial transactions of the criminal underworld, which I love. I love the idea. I love that idea. And he was introduced in James Tynion's Batman run. One of his, he really tried to introduce a lot of unique original characters. I think he was hoping one of them would stick, as I said before. Like, hey, if this character sticks, I want to use him some more. I get a bit more of that green. Creating original characters that stick is sort of the key to, I think, lasting in comics. That's what Brian Michael Bendis did. Alright, he's getting a check from Miles Morales, and he hasn't written for Miles in years. That's sort of it. Anyway, this strapping robot gentleman looks like he's Colossus's, American cousin. He's called the Executor. His job is to make sure that the wills and whatnot are all handled properly. And, yeah, that's kind of it. There's really nothing else to go here. Selena goes off to her apartment, watches HBO, denies her cat ice cream because it's lactose intolerant. The executive's like, hey, Miss Kyle, how you doing? So she's like, I have a secret identity, right? This ruins my secret identity. But people don't know that you're Catwoman because I showed up. They just think you're weird. So I think I'm going to die soon, alright? I think I am, alright? This is a seedy business. I have to assume that every time. But I need your help in delivering the contents of Mr. Cobblepot's will to the people in the will. Alright? And you don't have to insure them of anything, just tell them what it says, what they're getting, whatever. You get $500,000 for this. And these people are children of Penguin. I'm like, whoa! Oswald! 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 Remember, people, if Oswald Cobblepot can get some tail, you can get some tail. You just gotta be rich and a crime boss and look good with a top hat. So yeah, that's how this all ends. So ultimately, Zdarsky's Batman, I think, is great. I wasn't a big fan of his take on Bruce and Cindy's relationship, but I think that's just him pointing out what's been going on in the comics, and especially the Catwoman ones. I haven't read the Catwoman comics, so maybe nothing was going on. Maybe he just, maybe he was sleeping in the other room. Who knows? I just haven't had a reason to read Catwoman again. Anyway, the take on rich people I think was great here, because it's not the fact that rich people are terrible because they're rich. They're terrible because they're cunts. Alright? Like, Oswald's entire premise is, they didn't like me. They thought I was less than them. Well, you know what? Now I'm killing them. Ha 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 ha. This is not a healthy coping mechanism, kids. Just because people are mean to you does not give you the right to kill them. All right. Do what you want. You're adults. All right. I do not endorse you killing people. It's nice to see Tim here. Hope Tim's back in the costume because this is a terrible tease. Otherwise, this cover though is great. Jorge. I hope I said his name right. I think or George. I hope I said his name right. His art is really great. He's been a standard artist ever since he He really hit his stride when he joined Justice League with Scott Snyder, and he's just making his home in Batman. Send him off somewhere else too. I want to see him do Green Lantern. Oh, that'd be so cool. Green Lantern art can be hit and miss. I think he'd be a great fit. The stuff with Jeffrey Thorne's Green Lantern, that ain't it. So looking forward to this. Looking forward to this. Hope to see what Failsafe is going to do, what his plan is, and So with that in mind, if you're new to the Bug Think Tank, if you like, comment, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well. Mischief managed. Ha ha ha!